As dawn spread across the endless plains of the Opita Reserve, the crimson sun crept above the horizon, painting the sky in shades of gold and fire. The grasslands slowly came alive with sound. In the distance, a group of spotted hyenas crowded around the remains of a freshly killed zebra. Snarls, low growls, and the sickening rip of tearing flesh echoed across the open land. A harsh reminder of how survival ruled this world. Among the pack stood a young, pregnant female. Her once glossy coat, now dull and patchy from weeks of hunger. She hovered at the edge of the feeding frenzy, waiting for a chance. She had never been a strong hunter. Often bullied and pushed aside by dominant members, she survived mostly on scraps left behind by others. The dry season had been merciless this year. Prey was scarce, tempers were short, and competition within the pack had grown brutal. Summoning what little strength she had left, the pregnant hyena cautiously stepped forward, her swollen belly slowing every movement. Just as she reached toward a small piece of meat, the dominant female lunged. Without warning, sharp teeth clamped into her shoulder. Pain exploded through her frail body. Another violent strike sent her crashing to the ground. The leader's roar thundered through the air, a clear message of dominance. The injured hyena did not fight back. Fear froze her in place. Around her, the rest of the pack watched silently, unmoved. In the unforgiving hierarchy of the wild, this cruelty was simply nature's law. Bleeding, trembling, and utterly exhausted, the pregnant female was chased away, forbidden from returning to the carcass. Each step away from the feeding ground felt heavier than the last. Her belly dragged low as she limped across cracked, lifeless soil. Over the following days, survival became a desperate struggle. She fed on insects, small reptiles, and whatever she could find. Water came only from dew collected on blades of grass at dawn. Hunger gnawed at her constantly, yet the life growing inside her gave her a reason to keep moving. Eventually, she crossed beyond the territory of her pack, heading toward a quiet clearing at the edge of the reserve. It was a lonely place free from attacks, but filled with uncertainty. As night fell, strong winds swept dust across the land. Searching for shelter, she found a shallow hollow and began digging with weak paws, determined to create a safe place to give birth. Then the contractions began, her body convulsed with pain. Low groans escaped her throat as exhaustion and agony overwhelmed her. Blood and sweat soaked her spotted fur, already thin from starvation and injury. Hours passed before, at last, a tiny black cub slid into the world. Its eyes barely opened as it let out a faint cry. With trembling care, the mother licked away the birth membrane, urging the cub to breathe. The newborn pressed against her, instinctively searching for milk. But the mother had almost nothing to give, only a few drops. Still, she curled her body around the cub, shielding it from the cold wind, refusing to abandon it. Throughout the night, she barely slept. Every rustle in the bushes made her alert. She checked her cub again and again, terrified the cold or hunger might steal its fragile life. By morning, her shoulder wound had worsened, swollen and leaking pus. Pain made it nearly impossible to stand. There was no food, no water beyond the morning dew, yet she stayed. She pressed her weak body against her cub, sharing warmth, summoning every ounce of strength to protect it. Her breathing grew shallow, her eyes dull with exhaustion. Just as hope seemed to fade, an unfamiliar sound broke the silence, the low hum of an approaching engine. Peter Munro, a seasoned wildlife conservationist, was patrolling the outer edges of the reserve when he spotted them. From a distance, he saw a thin hyena crouched protectively over her newborn. At first, he stopped and observed, careful not to frighten them. But when he noticed the mother struggle to rise, he knew time was running out. Moving slowly, Peter approached. The cub looked up at him with wide, curious eyes, showing no fear. Sensing no threat, Peter knelt and gently assessed the situation. He administered a painkiller to the mother and quickly checked both animals. Realizing how critical their condition was, he radioed for immediate assistance, calling for a mobile veterinary unit. While waiting, he wrapped the cub in a towel and placed it close to its mother to keep it warm. When the rescue team arrived, they carefully lifted the exhausted mother onto a stretcher. Peter stayed close, holding the cub as they transported both to the rescue center. At the station, mother and cub were placed in isolation to prevent infection. Veterinarians cleaned the deep wound, administered antibiotics, and gave fluids to stabilize the mother. The cub was fed a nutrient-rich milk formula. Slowly, life began to return to them. Peter watched closely, refusing to leave. That night, beneath the soft lights of the center, the bond between mother and child remained unbroken. The first few days were difficult. The mother was weak and ate very little, but the cub grew stronger with each feeding. Its eyes opened wider. Tiny legs began to wobble forward. Daily bandage changes ensured the wound healed properly. Peter visited often, speaking softly, so they could become accustomed to human presence without fear. After a week, the mother showed renewed strength. She became alert and protective whenever anyone approached her cub. The young hyena's fur began to smooth, its spots slowly emerging. Soon, caretakers moved them to a large enclosure with grass and shade. Here, the mother began teaching her cub how to bite, pull, and play, just as in the wild. Her muscles strengthened day by day. Peter often watched from afar, smiling as the cub bounced clumsily around her. As weeks passed, training intensified. Fake prey was dragged across the ground to sharpen hunting reflexes. The cub learned to stalk and pounce, falling often but improving quickly. Veterinarians eventually confirmed they were ready for the final stage. Months later, the pair was released into a vast semi-wild zone deep within the reserve. Rolling grasslands, scattered trees, and small prey surrounded them. At first, food was provided, but soon the mother relied on her instincts. The cub followed closely, copying every movement. Their first successful hunt, a tiny mouse, felt like a triumph. With each passing day, coordination improved. Muscles grew strong. Confidence returned. Eventually, no assistance was needed. On a quiet morning, the gate to freedom opened. The mother paused, then stepped forward. The cub followed. Together, they vanished into the tall grass. From rejection to survival, her journey became a testament to resilience, motherhood, and the wild spirit that refuses to surrender.